Hello, everyone. This is Attorney Marina Shepelsky coming to you live from New York City, where our law practices. I'm the owner and managing partner of the firm, Shepelsky Law Group. And today I want to discuss with you issues having to do with the news that have to do with immigration news, and answer your questions live during this live. So drop me a comment, first of all. Where are you now? Where are you watching me from? And I'm going to give you a shout out because I'm really curious to know where you guys are. And sometimes we get really interesting results. I see my friend Anthony Sennett here who watches us every week. Hello, Anthony. That's on Instagram. Some people are joining, I know, from New York and New Jersey, where I live, in Florida. I'm curious to know where you guys are watching me from. Um, let's see. Looking at my comments with questions, saying hello. Viraj on Wheelboard Chawan says hello and good morning. News View from Virginia Beach. Hello. Pascal Ajero or Ayero or Ahero is in Nigeria. Megs is in California. Anthony says good morning. Hello, Anthony said it. My face is like super red today. I guess because I'm hot. The air conditioning is broken in my house. We called the company 2 weeks ago already, and they don't have anybody available until next week. I hope we're gonna survive this weekend because it's super hot, and look at how red my face is already. Um, okay, I'm just gonna give a few more minutes for people to join. Somebody called and asked our office if I actually work at the firm or am I just like a talking face. I'm actually working at the firm. I'm the owner of the firm and I work at the firm. I have a court hearing tomorrow morning and I have almost every day. I write briefs, I submit cases, I create strategies, I do consultations with clients. If you want to book a consultation, my consultations are available, but it might not be for like next week or this week, but you'll get something like in 2 weeks because I don't necessarily do consultations every single day. Some days I have court, some days, I have to travel. So we have consultations available with other lawyers, and we have a good team, a big team. I'm not the only one that talks to clients. So if you're interested, you can schedule, and I do work in the office. I'm there. So drop me in the comments where you're watching me from, and if you have a question about immigration law, which not necessarily I will answer as legal advice. I cannot give somebody legal advice online, okay, in a live. That's ridiculous. But I can answer your questions like this. This is not a personal question, and I will answer it. Aziz says, can an asylum seeker who became a U.S. citizen through VAWA travel back to home country? If you have U.S. citizen, you have a blue American passport. You can travel anywhere you want, and nobody's going to take your passport away from you. This is not really personal. So these general types of questions, which a lot of you have, I will definitely answer during the show. So drop me a comment with your question and drop me a separate comment with where you're watching me from. And I will ask you questions during the show. I'm going to try to make this more interesting for everyone. And ask you to write your answers in the comments. So let's begin with the news. And this week, I should say, from last week, we had a lot of news. First of all, Mary Namuzi is watching us from New York. So hello to New York. We have something big in the works. We're about to open a Manhattan second office. This is the first for me. I never dreamed that I would run a law firm that has more than one location. I've thought about it many, many times because our main office, where the accountant is and the manager and everybody is, the salespeople, the reception people, everybody is in the Brooklyn office. But we decided we're going to try to have a second meeting location to meet clients, to do consultations in Manhattan. And we signed a lease, and I'm just waiting for them to cash the check and send it back. And we are in business. We will have a Manhattan office very soon, which is going to be much, much easier for people from the Bronx and the Queens and other parts of New York. Plus, from New Jersey, it's going to be much easier to get to. You just have to take the path. And really, anybody else who wants to take a bus or any public transportation to New York, Manhattan is the best place to meet clients. So I'm hoping to make things easier for our clients. That's what we're here for customer service. And the best thing is we are going to be right across the street, door facing door to 26 Federal Plaza, where the USCIS office is and where immigration court is. And we will be able to run across the street and talk to a supervisor or go up and speak to the judge's clerk if we have to. Right? So that's really going to be great, and it's going to help our clients tremendously. So I can't wait. Francis says Boston, and Francis also says congratulations. It's been a big one. Last year, I almost decided to do it. We went and looked at offices, and I saw this really beautiful corner office closer to Wall Street area, and I was ready to take it. It was a big, also very expensive. I was going to take a lot of offices. I was thinking we were going to grow more. And then in the last moment, I changed my mind because it was super expensive. And Manhattan is very expensive for rent. And they said to myself, oh my God, this is so expensive. I'm not going to be able to sleep at night. And I didn't take it. And I'm very glad I did it because the economy is like rolling back now. So it's really hard. Um, Alawad Diary wants to know if what is the latest on the immigration reform. There's been a lot of talk about it. I know Biden has offered to talk about, not like to do anything yet, but talk about legalizing spouses of US citizens. Even people who left, came back. Even people who came with no visa, even people who've had deportations. But I know they were talking about only like 4,000 visas a year, which is nothing. It's a drop in the bucket. Even if you said only people who live in New York, that would be like nothing. The amount of people filing for different visas and applications and spouses of U.S. citizens is unreal. The 4,000 is not going to do anything. So realistically, there's no news about immigration reform legalizing undocumented immigrants. But there is news this week coming down from immigration courts. The Biden administration has appointed 10 new judges and started a new program called Recent Arrivals Docket for people who just crossed the border, and they have to be single and adult. So an adult single person to be placed on these expedited, faster dockets in immigration court. They're creating a separate new docket. It will be called Recent Arrivals Docket, or the RA docket. A docket is basically a court's calendar. So they're creating a new fast one. It has to be finished, the case from the beginning to end, in 180 days. And that calendar will soon be in effect for people who are just entering through the border and being placed in deportation proceedings. And that's going to be called the RA docket. I'm repeating myself, but I just wanted to make it clear for recent arrivals. So it's not for people who've been here for a long time and waiting for a new court date. It is not for families. It's only for single adults that are crossing through Mexico now and being placed in removal proceedings. Now, this is kind of good news for people who want to get a decision in their case fast, but it's also bad news for two main reasons. Reason number one, if you're in a rush, it's never a good thing for your case, okay? It's never an advantage to be in a rush and having to get everything done, submitted, completed in only 180 days. And reason number two, this is going to push back people who already waiting for years for a court date. They're already in court waiting for like a 2, 3 year court date. I think it's going to push everyone else back because they only appointed 10 new judges for the whole country of the United States. This will be in the courts of Boston, Chicago, Atlanta, uh, LA, and New York. Okay? And those courts will have this new calendar. There's only 10 judges. It's nothing, it's not enough. So, this new calendar is going to hit all the judges, and everybody's going to get more delayed than ever, except for these new arrivals, these new single people. We'll see what happens, but everything has advantages and disadvantages, you know? So that's what happens this week. This is the biggest news of the week in our system. It's a big deal when a new calendar, a new docket is created. So we'll see what happens with that. A big story, and I did a TikTok and an Instagram story about this already. A big story coming out of Chicago. Listen to this crazy, ridiculous story involving immigration fraud. And this shows how people are so desperate to get a visa and a green card possibility that they're willing to do crazy, extreme things. So in Chicago, the federal prosecutors have announced they're bringing a new federal criminal case against 6 people. They organized these staged robberies, pretend or fake crimes, fake robberies on immigrants. So they had planned out, they got these teenage gangsters, these young criminals, to steal cars, change license plates. Then they would come and rob or like burglarize places where the immigrants had paid for this too. Now, immigrants paid thousands of dollars to get this done to them. Why would somebody pay a robber to rob them, right? Check it out. After that, they would take this information, go to the police precinct, report this to the police, and ask to be sponsored for the U visa. Now, how did this all come out? Hundreds of cases like this happened. They made lots and lots of money, probably $1 million, if not more, because immigrants would pay 5 to 10,000 to do this. The little gangsters, the teenagers, got like hundreds out. So most of the money was kept by these 6 people that they're bringing up on federal charges. And basically, they were pretending to get robbed, and the robbers were pretending to rob. But one went wrong, and somebody got shot in the stomach. So one of these liquor store robberies they organized, the guy shot the alleged victim in the stomach by accident. It was an accident, but he had a real gun. It was a kid, a teenager who did this, and he shot him. And now these people are all out of luck. Now, how did this even come out to the public, right? So what happened was at some point the Chicago police, by the hundreds, was refusing to sponsor anybody for the UV. There was a big expose in our published, and the federal government got involved in investigating the police. You know, when it's police misconduct, a lot of times the FBI gets involved. So the FBI began to investigate these horrible, in quotes, horrible Chicago policemen who refused to sponsor these poor witnesses slash victims of crimes for a visa, right? And they found out there was a reason why the police were refusing. They were getting hundreds upon hundreds of cases where they would catch the robber, and the robber would admit the whole thing was staged. It was pre-planned. It was a fake robbery. There was no crime committed when the person knew they were going to get robbed and paid $10,000 to get robbed. You know, so the police stopped giving anybody sponsorship, and when the feds got involved and they saw all this, this is when they really started to get into it and said this is perpetration of immigration fraud. This is immigration fraud. The U visa is a special visa for people who get to be victimized and they're witnesses of real serious crime. This affects lives. This allows people to help the police, not to be afraid of the police. But this is a mockery of the U visa system. And the U visa, by the way, is already hard to get, and it takes 5 years to get. And after that, after 3 years, you get a green card. You file for a green card. So it's a long process as it is. Now, these people are mocking the whole thing. They're making a mockery of it, and they're basically perpetrating immigration fraud. So these 6 people were brought up on federal charges, organized crime, immigration fraud. And although there's a lot more people who were involved, these are the 6 defendants that they're announcing who are just in the system now. So we'll see what happens next. But I just thought this would be a really cool story to tell you because this is so ridiculous that it's unbelievable. And they might not be related, but there was a staged robbery of a gas station in Houston, not Chicago, Houston. But in Houston, regular people carry guns. And a passerby saw what was happening, thought this was a real robbery, and shot the robber. And I don't know if the guy died or not, but he was very seriously shot and injured because that's what a witness or a good Samaritan would do when they're allowed to carry a gun. So, it's interesting how this plays out. It's very dangerous. You could get killed or shot. The robber could get killed or shot. Please don't get involved in these crazy schemes. And I've seen other schemes. My clients tell me that they get involved and they pay thousands of dollars. Please don't pay thousands of dollars to do immigration fraud. Save your money, hire a lawyer, hire us. Our law firm does miracles sometimes. And I'm not just saying this for advertising. Today, this morning, I received a text message by a good friend of ours. He's a big client. He's got a medical practice and he's a big charity person here in New York in the Pakistan community. One of his people received approval for a religious visa, but he had some problems and overstayed the visa before that, and he was denied for a green card. And I didn't want to even file for this appeal. He asked me to file for the appeal because this was one of his personal contacts. I said, I'm not filing for this appeal, Dr. So-and-so, for your friend, because there's no hope. Legally, he's got no shot. Marina, I've been working with you for so many years. I know that you know how to do something crazy and good and some loophole. You'll find a loophole. Please give him a shot, give him a chance. And you see, I don't like to take money when I'm not 100% sure that I will win. So he convinced me. I said, okay, fine, let's try, but you have to tell me that you accept the fact that it could get denied. He overstayed the visa. There's no forgiveness here. He said, fine. We wrote this big brief and we waited. He got the work permit. Everything's fine. He's got in like 3 or 4 weeks. Guess what? The whole family was approved. Today we received approval notices for everybody's green card application. It took a long time. It took like 2 years. And I didn't think it was going to get approved. I thought we were waiting 2 years and it was going to get denied. And I was wrong. And I'd love to be wrong like this. I'd love to do this work. So please don't pay for fraud. Pay a lawyer and hire somebody who knows what they're doing. We're here for you. But if you know somebody great, please trust a good lawyer and do that. Don't pay these crazy immigration fraud scams. It ruins your credibility with immigration for the rest of your life. You'll never get anything else accomplished if you do this and they find out this was fraud. All right, let me jump into your questions right away. I will start with Instagram today. Oh, Aman Digioff 95 is watching from Africa, from Kenya. Amazing, amazing. Anthony Sennett is one of the earliest questions, so I'm going to jump in. Well, Anthony, I got my advance parole last week. Woo-hoo! I'm still waiting for my PR. I don't know what that means. I guess work permit. I don't know what PR is. Oh, permanent residence for a green card. Okay. How long will it take to get the green card approval? I want to travel with a green card, not just on advance parole. Thank you for always being there. Anthony, I don't recall how you filed for your green card. Maybe you can drop a line and tell me, is it through VAWA? Is it through, I think it was like a religious green card. That might take a year and a half to get approved. Advance parole comes much sooner than the approval of the permanent resident green card. Here, he says, would prefer to travel with the green card. I'm in the EB4 religious worker visa. Well, he filed for a green card. Yeah, it should take a year and a half or so, maybe a little less, Anthony. All right, here's some questions from YouTube. Aziz, I answered your question already. Also Aziz, can asylum seeker who, oh, this is the same question. If you have US citizenship, you can travel to your home country even if you ask for asylum initially. US citizen doesn't matter. They can't take away your citizenship. News View says, what's the difference between T visa and T status? It's really the same thing. Now, if you're getting the T visa abroad in a consulate in another country, it's a visa. If you're here in US, it's called a status, but it's really the same thing. We said hello already to Viraj. Newsview wants to know that I-131 filing course for a T person orbits free. I don't know what that means. Um, the new fee is, I think, approximately 265 for advanced parole. I'm not sure 100%. You could Google USCIS fee for I-131. Can a T visa holder get a gun permit? I think it depends on your local, like police rules, where you live. Mohammed Abdul Aquil says, hi, Marina. Please, I have overstayed and I have no status in the USA. I am currently in New Jersey. Hello, I'm also from New Jersey, Mohammed. My mom has a green card. Can she sponsor me? Can I adjust my status through my mom in the USA? I don't want to leave. Sadly, your mom can file for you, but it's not going to help you get a green card or adjust status in the United States. Mohammed Abdul Akwil, give us a call. Let's discuss some other options, like filing for late asylum. If your country is going through a hard time right now, and that's one option, and you might have others. Let's do consult. My number is on the bottom of the screen here. Let's talk and figure it out. You can actually schedule with anybody in our office. It doesn't have to be me, but we're all doing this kind of work. Valeen Nangbet says, hello, can I win a VAWA case if I'm still living with my abusive spouse? Wonderful, great question. And the answer is going to surprise you. Absolutely, yes. Yes, you could file and win VAWA even if you're choosing to stay and live with your abusive spouse. But I hope you leave soon. Francisco 3 is watching from Boston. Hello, hello. We talked about the reform. Meg says the sound is not good. Can you guys hear me? My voice is like very scratchy for the last 2 weeks. The allergies are killing me. Haroon says, hi, my case is, and drop a comment, guys, if you can hear me or not. Let me know. Say the sound is bad. I'm reading your comments here. Haroon says, hi, my case is in the F2A category, which is green card holder, spouses, and kids under 21. I live outside, and my wife submitted the case for me, the family petition. And my priority date is June 8, 2023. When can I get approval? When can I be expected to come to the US? Will it happen this year? Let me show you on the screen. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, I'm going to show you how I'll figure it out. You go to you go to current visa bulletin. You always Google those words. Then you open June 2024 because we're almost in June. And this is how slow my computer works at home. And then we look at the category for F2 in the first chart. We're looking at the 15th of November of 2021. Okay? You are from June 2023. It's not going to work. You're going to have to wait another 2 years at least. This year will not happen. I'm sorry. Good morning, Texas. Ms. Valine, who asked a good question. If you could stay with your abuser and file for VAWA against them. Can I win a VAWA if I'm still living with my abusive spouse? Yes. The answer is yes, you can. And we'll be happy to help you. Give us a call, schedule a consultation. Hi from Sue and Sue. Sue says, I have a VAWA petition pending for myself and my 9-year-old child. We have our socials and work permits. Can the child's father, who is a U.S. citizen, file for her? And what is the process in doing so? Yeah, I mean, you know, the father probably not involved in the problem case. Yeah, yes, the father can file for your child and be approved. If you didn't come through the visa process initially, like how did you enter the United States? If you entered with a visa, the father can get your child a green card inside US, adjustment of status. If you brought the kid through the border and there's no parole and there is no visa admission, you might just, abandon that idea for now and see if VAWA will be approved. If VAWA is approved, that will forgive the fact that the kid came with no visa and he or she's better off, it's a she, so she's better off through your VAWA. If she came with a visa and you're not afraid, filing for her through the father, I think it's a good idea. But if you want a detailed answer, like a really personalized answer and a good strategy, call us for a consultation. And soon, like this month, I think in June, we should have a Manhattan office available. We're still in the Brooklyn office. We also do online consultations like this, Zoom. We are immigration law experts for 21 years. We've been doing this work. We're local here in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania. We know everyone, the judges and so on. And we work with other courts all the time. Sometimes it takes the New York aggressive energy to win cases. You know what I wanted to discuss today, actually? I was writing somebody an email, even though they didn't pay for consult, but they wrote me a question, so I just replied. If you have a pending asylum case, and you file for a work permit, sometimes you'll get a denial notice saying your clock is stopped for the work permit. The clock has stopped. Okay. If the clock has stopped, there's a reason for it. It's usually not an accident. It's not like a random reason the clock has stopped. Usually why clock gets stopped is if you ask to reschedule your asylum interview or a court hearing. A lot of people who come through the border, they go to the first hearing without a lawyer, and the judge reschedules their court date, adjourns their court date. That stops your clock for the work permit. So if you have a question about the clock, it has to do with you or your lawyer asking for a reschedule of your case that stops the clock, and the clock will not get restarted until your next court date, hopefully. And at that point, you got to show the judge you're ready to proceed and avoid the stopping of the clock that way. So I wanted to mention that for everybody who's waiting for their work permit through asylum. Don't be surprised. It could happen that the clock gets stopped. Fatuma says, hello, madam. Priority date is October 31, 2016. Qualified with documents with NVC December 22, 2022. And the F2B, which is adult child or green card holder category from Kenya. Checking the visa bullet, the F2B is on the final actual date, moved to the 1st of April 2016. So they didn't reach your date yet. How close? They're about 6 months to a year. So that means you probably would have to wait another year to year and a half to be called. Approximately. I cannot be like precise, but I don't think that it moves as fast as you think. And it doesn't move like every month, 1 month. Sometimes there's a delay, and 2, 3 months will go by where the date doesn't change on the visa bulletin in the F2B category. And sometimes they skip 3 months. So it's hard to say. Give yourself a year to a year and a half to be on the safe side. And this is a question about how close to get the interview appointment. Fatuma says, is there any hope for those who cross the border illegally? Single adult waiting for court hearing in May 2025. Can the lawyer help him with the asylum application? Yes, we do this work. Give us a call. We can definitely help this person. Osai Godon says, I'm an asylum applicant. I'm waiting for my interview. Can I get an advance parole if I apply? For emergencies only, life or death, funeral, somebody died, or heart attack, cancer, broke a hip, something truly, truly serious, an emergency. Yes, you can get a travel, advance parole travel, if you are not in court proceeding. If you're just waiting for asylum and you haven't been to court yet, you don't have the notice to appear yet. Huda says, hello, Marina. I have a sister who has an error, a mistake in her citizenship certificate. The mistake is the country. It says Nigeria instead of Niger without the IA. She sent I-565, a special form to get her NAT certificate corrected, and also applied the I-130 petition for her parents. The I-130 application will be processed while filing of the I-565. Can she go to Africa if she wants to go right now? Yeah, absolutely. Get a passport and go to Africa. And the fact that there was a mistake on it doesn't change anything. The only problem is getting the passport now. If she sent away, I hope she didn't send away the original certificate, because if she sent away her original certificate, she's not going to be able to get a passport from now. But if she has a U.S. passport, go ahead and travel. It's not a problem. And also wants to file for a kid, give us a call for all of that. We'll be happy to do a consultation and figure this out, okay? Adoption, traveling, all of that. Let's do a consultation. Habibur says, hello, dear, and hello. Anthony Sennett says, the sound is very good. Thank you so much. Hello from Bhagwan Singh Fadanpura. I'm going to be wrapping up, you guys. Thank you for watching. I have last question on YouTube from Francis Ibawuchi. It says, if I'm not given a work permit after 1 year of waiting after filed for VAWA, what does it mean? It doesn't mean anything. It just sometimes means that it takes longer than you think to get a work permit. It means nothing. They're not really related. So getting the work permit and how long it takes is it does not in any way relate or affect VAWA, and VAWA doesn't affect it. Okay, so it might take you longer or shorter time to get the work permit. The VAWA now takes like 39 months. So I wouldn't worry about it. Oda wants to know if somebody that has an error on their NAT certificate can apply for a passport. Probably yes, as long as you show that you filed to get the mistake fixed. And thank you very much, Koda. I love you guys so much. A big shout out to Kenya, to Boston, to Florida, to Pakistan, to India, to whoever's watching me everywhere, and California, New Jersey, New York. I love you all. Thank you so much for spending half hour with me and watching. I really appreciate it. If you have a serious immigration problem, please give us a call for a consultation, and we will be so happy to help you. I love this work. We work miracles sometimes, and even I get surprised by them. So God sometimes works through us to help you, and I urge you not to waste your money on scams, on fraud, on lying. There's so many options as of right now with this president to file for a legal way to stay in America, and we're here for you. It's never too late, even if you've been here for a long time. And don't wait for the election, because things might change for the worst in November. I don't want to scare anyone, but it's real. The Supreme Court is supporting Trump and not going through for right now with any of the January 6th charges as of right now, which means he's going to be allowed to run for and get elected for president. So let's see what happens. But I urge you to start your case now. Call us for a consultation. I love you all. See you next week. Bye-bye.